The Rebbe once had an audience with Rabbi Brennan, and the Rebbe was speaking to him about the custom of putting on both Rashi film and Rabbeinu Tam film. And the Rebbe asked him, how is it possible when you say the bracha for film to have in mind Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam? How is it possible the bracha is going to go for both? So the Rebbe answered that before you say the bracha, while your hand film is on your arm and your jacket is covering your arm, before you start, you should have in mind that this bracha should go for both. In other words, it's something you have to do before the bracha. That didn't say if you should say it, if you should think it, but it's before you say the bracha. There's an expression in Gemara, Shema Mina Tarti. This teaches us more than one thing. This also teaches us that you're supposed to, before you put on the tefillin, you have this tefillin, when you say the bracha, you see some people covering their arm. Why are they covering their arm? Because it's sneeze, because of modesty. So you see from the Rebbe's words that that's the right thing to do. It's to cover your arm when you say the bracha. And you also see that the bracha of the Rashi tefillin is connected to Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, and therefore it's important not to interrupt the Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam tefillin as much as possible. That right after Rashi tefillin, right away put on the Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. So that's what we're saying the bracha. After the bracha, then you tighten the tefillin around your arm. In the in Chabad knot, there are two ways to tighten the knot. One way is to tighten the knot to come closer to the box, and the other is to tighten the box and closer to the arm. One is to pull up the knot on the other side, so the knot should come closer to the box, and the other is it should come closer to the arm. There is a difference of various rabbis within Chabad. If the loop on the tefillin through which the strap goes through, you have to open and close it every day. So it seems like the consensus is that you don't have to open and close it every day. The Alter Rebbe said that, it says in the Torah you should tie the tefillin. So some are the opinion you have to make a knot every day, and if it's already closed, you're not making a knot. But the consensus is that you don't have to actually tie a knot every day. As long as it's able to be tied every day, that's already sufficient, and you don't have to open and close it every day. Instead, you say the bracha, and you make sure the knot's touching the box, and then you just bring the tefillin closer to your bicep. The reason the knot is touching the box is from the Zohar. The Zohar says that as when we put on tefillin, we make the name of Hashem both in the hand tefillin and in the head tefillin. So make the name of Shin Dal Yud twice. Since we make the name of Hashem Shin Dal Yud, so the Yud of the hand tefillin is connected to the Shema Yisrael, because according to Kabbalah, the truth that is expressed by the words Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Hashem is one, is the same level of godliness, same revelation of godliness that is expressed by the first Yud of Hashem's name. Hashem has 4 letters to his name, so the Yud of the 4-letter name of Hashem is the same as the truth that is in the Tefillin Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and therefore the Yud is always supposed to be touching the box. This is also true after take off the tefillin. That's why there is a hole in the box, the hand tefillin, in order to facilitate what the Zohar says, that the Yud should always be touching the box, not only when you're wearing the tefillin, but even when the tefillin are off, he is also always supposed to be touching the box. After you make the Yud, then you make a shin around your arm. Make two coils around your arm, both coils before your bicep, and it's also customary that when you put the strap over the hand tefillin, there's like a groove. So instead of it wrapping around the side of the hand tefillin, you put it inside the groove. So in other words, in the hand tefillin, in the mabarta where the strap goes through, so then on the let's say you're holding the tefillin in front of you, on the right side is like a little groove. You put it through the groove if it's possible. Instead of wrapping it against the box when you're going over your arm, you put it inside the little groove at the end of the mabarta.
Wait, this is confused.
You bring me a pair of tefillin, I'll show you. Okay. So once you say the bracha, of course you can't interrupt it. You can't interrupt until you put on the head film, and preferably not to interrupt at all until you put on the Rabbeinu Tam film. But
Even with like words of davening or like. I mean,
Well, you're
people talk
davening.
all
You have
the
to
time.
you have to daven. You have to
People
daven.
talk all the time between Rashi many times. Like it's not.
Do you have to take it off when you're putting it in the box?
People talk all the time. I'm just saying the optimum way of doing things. I'm not saying what I do. I'm just saying the optimum way of doing things. What?
Do you have to take it out every single time when you have to put the shin? You have to make the shin every single time in the.
What I was referring to is that when you go over, instead of going like this, you have to go like this through the groove at the end. Instead of wrapping it against it, go through.
Well, there's another one, right?
You
that
do it twice, two times.
And then, yeah.
That's based on halacha and Kabbalah.
So the first time you go over, it should be like in the group.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
And then after you do 2 times around your arm, then you do 7 times around before your elbow. Then you do 7 times up to your wrist. The 7 times should be before your wrist. And in these 7 times, the Rebbe Rashab had a custom, which we do, it says in Sefer Menhagim, that we do 3 and 4. Right? Is that what you learned?
Yeah.
3 and 4. He's an expert in things. He's one of the most recently, so he knows. So far we have a shin and we have a yud in the hand film. We also have an upside down dalet. When you put the after 7 times on your arm, then you do 1 strap this way diagonally, and then another strap 1 time around your palm, and that forms a backwards sort of dalet. So you have a shin and a dalet and a yud in the hand film. Then you put on the head film. There are different ways Hasidim put on the head film. The Hasidim of used to always put on film like this. Used to hold it. It's not considered bizui. It's not considered disgracing the film to pick up the film like this and put it on. But it's not, because that way this part touches your head first before it touches the dalet. The knot in the back of the film is in the shape of a dalet, and so you want the shin to touch your head before the dalet touches your head. The question is, which way is the dalet supposed to be? A dalet could be written like it is now, this way, or it could be written the other way. So Ashkenazim actually have like more of a schlossmem, a box, like 4 sections, and they're not, and that way, either way you read it, it's a dalet. But whatever, it doesn't look like a dalet; it just looks like a square. But that's the reason why we put on why you're supposed to. It's better to put on the box before putting on the knot in the back. I don't. It's not so easy to put on film that way for everyone. Also, another problem we put on film is that when you put on film, the previous Rebbe says that the knot in the back of the film, the dalet, is supposed to touch 2 parts of your head. It's supposed to touch both when you lift your head upwards. So in the back of your head, it slopes down. When it slopes down, it gets softer when it slopes down, and higher up is harder. So the dalet is supposed to touch, as the previous Rebbe, both the soft part and also the hard part. So that's not so hard to do. What's hard to do is, since our tefillin are so big, the back of the tefillin is supposed to be on the head where by a baby where it's soft, middle of the skull, and the front is supposed to be by the hairline. So if your tefillin were smaller, your tefillin could be a little bit before the hairline and it would still be in the right place. Because our tefillin are so big, the only place they could be is right by the hairline, and therefore when they're right in the front of the head, it's going to slope down, or it's going to not be so comfortable on the head. So it's a little hard to get in the right place because the tefillin are far forward, where the head is already like a more thinner part of the head. Therefore, doesn't stay as well as if it would be if the tefillin would be smaller, it wouldn't be right by the hairline. It would rest better on your head. But we have to put our tefillin far forward, because if you put it back a little bit, the tefillin are so big, the back part of the tefillin is already going to be before the part where you're allowed to put on tefillin. In other words, since the tefillin are big, the earliest place to put on tefillin is a little bit further up on your head. If you put it back a little bit further back, and then it will be nice, it'll settle nicely in your head, but it won't be in the right place. It will be too far back. So therefore, it's a little clumsy, and that's why people are always adjusting tefillin because it's not so easy to keep in the right place. But that's what we got to do. That's what it is. That's how Hashem made the world.
Is the tefillin actually, is it wider than the actual distance between the end of the
Fontanelle.
soft spot and the hairline.
So good. So there are those who have written about young bar mitzvah boys, they're very small arms, and they put on this big pair of tefillin,
Right.
and it's covering half their arm. Is it kosher? It's not kosher. Not so simple. Not so simple. I didn't mention. I was supposed to mention before. I don't know where this comes from. This is what I heard. Where is the tefillin supposed to go on your arm? So what I learned is, it's supposed to go in the peak of the muscle. I don't know where I heard this. I couldn't find the source, but I definitely learned this. That when we say that tefillin is supposed to go on the peak of the muscle, it means not the titura, not the box part is supposed to go on the peak of the muscle, but the very beginning of the mabarta. This part of the tefillin is supposed to go on the peak of the muscle. That's what I heard. I don't have a source for it. If you take it or leave it. But either way, the tefillin in general is supposed to be on the peak of the muscle of the arm. So,
Did the Alter Rebbe actually have tefillin this big also? Alter Rebbe himself.
the Alter Rebbe himself, the size of Alter Rebbe's film, I don't know if we have the Alter Rebbe's film. I don't know if we have the Alter Rebbe's film. I have no idea.
Like this size is like it's like.
The Alter Rebbe said it should be Dal Dal, the Hidr Dal Dal. This is a Hidr Alter Rebbe. Yeah, the Alter Rebbe spoke with this. What is it? Film? Personal film? I don't know. Anyway, so after we do the head film, then we put on the final part of the hand film, which parenthetically, the wrapping around the arm 7 times is a custom. The wrapping around the finger is already in the category of halacha. And how is supposed to wrap in the fingers? It happened here 2 times. I saw this happen. Some people, because in the end, even if you don't leave one over here, you go back here anyways and you wrap a bunch. So when people forget about this one, they go straight after they undo it, they wrap the finger and then they wrap the arm. They wrap the palm. Not the correct way of doing it. You have to leave one around your palm, then do your finger, then do your palm. Some people forget when they undo it after they put on the head filling. They don't know that, and they think that they're supposed to go straight to the finger and then go to the palm. It's supposed to be 1 on the palm, then the 3 on the finger, then back on the palm. Okay, on the finger. So there's one is supposed to be on the lowest part of the index, on the middle finger, then on the second part of the middle finger, and then on the third part, the bottom part again of the middle finger. The third one that goes in the bottom part of the middle finger is not supposed to be directly over the one in the bottom. It's supposed to be a little bit higher than the one in the bottom. It's not supposed to be directly over the one in the bottom. A little higher than the one in the bottom. Not on the middle, but on the bottom, but a little higher. And then after you wrap the third part of your middle finger, then you go over your palm. Some people say that after you go over your palm, you're supposed to then make a knot at the end. However, that wasn't the Rebbe's custom. The Rebbe would just put it in. There were many Hasidim that had this custom, even though that wasn't the Rebbe's personal custom, that they felt this was just for the Rebbe to do it this way. But the Rebbe would just stick in the end of the hand. In other words, instead of, you're not making a knot over here by the arm film. So where are you making a knot? So they said you should make a knot by the what? By the at the end, when you finally wrap the last bit of the shal yad, then make a knot at the end. So that's not how we do it. Okay, so it comes out. So when you put on the head film, you also did a shin, dalet, and yud. You have a shin on the sides of the film. You have a dalet over here, and then you did a yud on your finger. So you have a shin, dalet, yud twice. You have a yud of the hand film. You have a shin over your arm, and you also have a dalet on your palm. So the obligation is to have a shindal yud on the head film, but our custom is we also do a shindal yud also on the arm film. Just a brief thing about interruption of film. Once you say the bracha on film, you're not supposed to interrupt for anything until you put on the head film. And even in the middle of davening, you're not allowed to answer parts of davening. You're only allowed to answer the following things. You're allowed to answer Amen Tiyesh Mirabba, Amen Tamir Damir Ba'amin Amen, Amen Ta'akel HaKadosh, Amen Tashmei Tefillah, the first 3 words of Meidem Nachalach. You're allowed to answer Baruch Hu. But other than those things, you're not supposed to speak. And therefore, if it happened that you did speak, there's a question. There's 2 brachas, one for the shalyad, one for the hand film, one for the head film. There's a question: are there 2 brachas or not? We paskin, we do 1 bracha for both. However, if you spoke, even if you spoke for the sake of answering Kodesh Baruch Himlech or whatever it was, you still say another bracha on this tefillin on the head film. All right. Any questions or comments or criticism with tomatoes or cucumbers?
So let's say the space here is
Oh, I forgot to mention. Well, if it's too short,
yeah.
speak
Where
thereof.
should- yeah.
Speak thereof if it's too short. It's not so simple. I forgot to mention that film is supposed to be directly in the center of your head. Why directly in the center of your head? Because it says in Gemara that you're supposed to have the two Torah portions, Shema B'Hoim Shemaya on one side, and Kash Vayikaviyacha on the other side. Shema B'Hoim Shemaya Yamin, Kash Vayikaviyacha Mismal. This is only pertinent for the Rashi film because the Rabbi Tam film, the Shmush Rabbah film, the Ravid film have a different order in the head film. All right, to be continued.